All right, folks, let's get it. Bonnie Ross has left 343 Industries. Before we get this whole conversation started, I've seen some things on Twitter. I've seen some people, the vocal minority of Halo fans can be absolute asshats. So, I, for one, am happy that this change is happening. Under the circumstances that it's happening are not ideal, especially for Bonnie's side. So I asked to be respectful in the comment section. Anything that's just extremely toxic, I'm not even going to respond to. I try to answer all comments, but anything that's just extremely toxic, I don't want to interact with you. I want nothing to do with it. Let's try to be adults here. I am happy for the future of Halo, to see it go hopefully in a new direction under a new leadership. We're going to give you all the details that you need to know in this video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe to stay absolutely up to date on all the latest happenings in the world of Halo. But some big shakeups are happening. Let's start with this statement from Bonnie. She said, "While I hope to stay with Halo until we're released in the winter update, I'm letting you know I'll be leaving 343 and attending to a family medical issue. I'm incredibly proud of the work everyone at 343 Industries has done with the Halo Infinite, the Master Chief Collection, and the television series, and so much more. It has been an honor to serve alongside the team for the last 15 years and be a part of a universe that I love. Thank you to everyone in the Halo community for your support. Halo's future is bright. I cannot wait for all of you to experience what we have in store and to cheer alongside you as a fan at the Halo World Championship come October. Axios, Bonnie Ross." So, the way this is worded, she said she had hoped to stay with Halo Infinite until they released with the winter update. Now, I don't know if this means that she planned on departing anyways, or she was, told by Microsoft that she's stepping down after this winter update, or she was hoping that the family situation wouldn't get more serious so that she could, attend to this winter update and see it through. So I don't know which one is which. A lot of people out there, I've seen her saying, that's all made up. I'm not getting into that. She's got family issues. Why even speak on that? Whatever. So hopefully the best for you and your family, Bonnie. I am personally grateful that I know Halo hasn't been in a good state lately. Some will say Halo hasn't been the same since Reach. I'm not that big of a fan of Reach either. Reach was a solid game, but not that great of a title in my opinion compared to the others in the series. But I'm grateful that Bonnie took over Halo, because Halo would have stopped after Reach, and my life would have been totally different if Halo stopped after Reach. So I'm grateful, because without her, yeah, maybe somebody else could have stepped up, but Microsoft entrusted her with Halo, and without that trust, she's been there for 15 years working on Halo and being the head of 343 since its conception after Halo Reach was released, when 343 took over from Bungie. So without that, yeah, my life would be incredibly different. Every Halo has its issues. There isn't a single perfect Halo. But a lot of people like to dunk on the 343 Halos because there are a lot of glaring issues. But I've found enjoyment in every single title. Halo 4, I found enjoyment in the story, and I had fun in the multiplayer. Yes, it was derived from being Halo, and it was more Call of Duty-like. I joke around always and say that it's the best Call of Duty ever made because I still had fun on it. It was casual fun, and Big Team Battle was really good. I love the maps on Big Team Battle. And then Halo 5 is my second favorite multiplayer in the series. Halo 2, then Halo 5. The competitive in that game is extremely amazing. The skill gap is extremely high. So I enjoy that game. And Halo Infinite, it's got a solid campaign. And when it launched, I felt the multiplayer was pretty good. But over time, it's really started to eat at me. But I really do think Halo Infinite can be a great game over time. And let's not forget MCC, the debacle that was 2014. Almost single-handedly killed the franchise. One of the worst video game launches ever. But made a huge comeback. We're going to talk more on that later because the new head of 343 has been around working on Halo for a long time. And a lot of the reasons why MCC made that comeback, he was there for that. So we'll talk about that later. But on to the other news. about Bonnie's departure. Her position basically is getting split into 3 different positions now. So these are your people right here, okay? These are your 3 new people. And Pierre Hintze, I'm hopefully pronouncing that right, is going to be the new studio head. All right. The general manager of the franchise is going to be Brian Koski, this person right here. And the business and operations lead, Elizabeth Van Wyck. Or Wyck, whatever, you know. It's hard doing last names, okay? So that is going to be split into 3 different positions now, okay? So that is definitely important to know. And if you guys were wondering about Pierre, well, there was a spotlight on him all the way back in 2018. And I will read this to you guys. It's not too long, okay? So, you know, whatever you guys want to talk about in the comments down below, as long as it's civil, I don't mind discussing with you. I am excited for the future of Halo. I think this shakeup is definitely needed. And what I've heard about this guy, there's some cool things in here. So here we go with the employee spotlight. He was the head of publishing and has been with Halo for less than a year, which was in 2018. But in that short time, he's been tasked with one of the most delicate and challenging things they've ever done as a studio. Trying to take the gargantuan Halo the Master Chief Collection, not only fix some of its slippery and sometimes difficult to reproduce issues, but also make the fan favorite feel new again, to bring to its full potential as the most value-packed remaster on the Xbox console. Pierre did not come into this task blind, but rather with relish and gusto. Pierre is a veteran of a huge range of games and challenges and has worked for many of the most famous names in the industry. They sat down with Pierre to talk about everything. Okay, so what he was tasked with at 343. And this is Pierre speaking. He said, I'm following the guidelines, of course, of my job description, which is responsibility for all Halo Legacy products, right up to, but not including, Halo 5 Guardians, which is still technically a current game. So I'm focused on trying to find intelligent ways of bringing that rich legacy of games and experiences to new players. Obviously, one of my biggest tasks was the recent update to Halo Master Chief Collection. I'm also doing 1 or 2 fairly major things that I can't talk about today, but they take a lot of my team's time. I run a team of very talented individuals, technical and art folks who are making direct contributions to MCC. While our 4K update to the game is largely programmatical, there were new assets that need to be designed for the UI that better take advantage of the fidelity afforded by 4K resolution. However, my team's level of talent and frankly experience means that they can have a very different level of partnership with our various external partners, speaking to them at their own level and sharing a tremendously deep understanding of the MCC components. Alright, how about this? How long have you worked in the game industry and what were your experiences? Well, they've spent 22 years in the games industry, Pierre has. I started on the Sega Mega Drive, Genesis in the US, CD language tester team, working on translations of mostly Japanese content. I swiftly moved up through the organization and became a producer, adapting content from Japan. I had to choose from 15 games at the time, and the one I picked was a soccer game, which is something I'm passionate about, have returned to a couple of times in my career. That soccer game was very successful, and I think annoyed Electronic Arts, so they hired me to come and work on FIFA, and for 7 years, as well as the NHL hockey series. Eventually, I pigeonholed myself, so I branched out, becoming a creative producer for THQ, exercising more creative muscle in the process, and I also got the chance to work on the MotoGP and Cars franchises. Seems like they have a big background in sports games, racing being another one of my passions. Duquesne would love this. He loves race. Eventually, I was offered a job at Atari, one of the most storied brands in gaming, obviously, but at the time, we're having a rough go. Oddly, the challenge of that appealed to me, but it also ended up being pivotal because it was my first chance to work on games as a service and mobile, both of which were relatively nascent markets. But, obviously, they became hugely important aspects of the gaming industry. That segue into a short stint at Square Enix as an executive producer, working on their free-to-play games, and then onto PlayStation. Like I said, 22 years, Dan. This guy's been around for sure. Talked about his background. So he was born in East Berlin before the wall fell, but he's also worked for European, Japanese, and U.S. companies. Okay, they asked him what his favorite game of all time would be. He said Civilization 4. Sid Meier is a genius, but Civ 4 was where I thought I hit the zenith of player involvement. I'm German, so from birth I'm conditioned to love strategy, real-time, including games like Panzer Commander. And you know, I've talked a lot about how cool a Halo space combat game, tactical or strategic, could be. It's the perfect setting for something like that. Maybe one day we could make something like that. Space combat. Sounds pretty cool. So that's a little bit about the new studio head. Definitely going to be a different perspective on Halo, I think, coming in, which is maybe just what Halo needs. Definitely, you know, they have people like Joe to kind of honor the legacy of Halo and know what makes Halo so unique and what makes Halo Halo. But having somebody that's been through the ringer like this could definitely be good for this series. So let me know what you guys think about this shakeup at 343 Industries. We all knew something needed to happen with management. Somebody had to be held responsible for, you know, the shortcomings of Halo Infinite and honestly the series as a whole as of late. So this can be a good thing. We'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully Microsoft continues to pour resources into Halo and not give up on it, because Halo, it's a cash cow and it needs to come back in a big way if Xbox is to be taken seriously. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment down below, let me know what you think. Hope to catch you on either a previous video of mine or a future video of mine. Until that time comes, I'm your boy Patman, and I'm out.